This is Real Women, celebrating women in independent film. My name is Brenda Daly, and we are here talking about women in film, what it means to us as women. We are here with a newcomer who's been doing this for about 13 months now. She's a new producer, so she's been producing for about 4 months now, I would say. But her name is Nicole Butler Vegas.
Thank you.
And she's been acting, and she's been really kicking butt, really. And so she'd be very proud of herself. I think she's also, the producer thing I think is just perfect for you, just because I feel like you have all those qualities. People always want to work with you. You're great at social media, something I really need to learn.
Thank you.
And I feel like it just goes to show that it doesn't matter your age, or it doesn't matter when you start. If it's something that you really love doing, then you should just go ahead and do it, because I feel like the whole world is so limiting. You can't do this because you're that. You can't do this because you're that. And I don't think that that's really fair.
Whoever's saying that, you cut them right out, actually.
Yeah, but I think as children, we all have like biased on whatever we're taught as kids. And then as we get older, then, whether somebody's jealous or whatever their situation is, everybody's always trying to limit you. You can't do this. And I don't really like that.
There is people like that, but they're more self-projecting on things that they find they can't do themselves. So when you do find somebody that's mentoring, inspiring, or a go-getter, you're like, yeah, that's who I want to be around. Because that is really important, to find the people that will build you instead of cut you down.
Yeah, and I feel like the people that are really doing well are the people that inspire others. I feel like, I have fear of missing out, just like everybody else. Don't get me wrong. I get that way. I feel that way. And then I think, well, this is crazy because I should be applauding these people. And I feel like there's, if they're doing it, it just goes to show that as long as you have the will, you can do the passion to do it, or just because you just want to learn something. And it just, for me, it was just like, I wanted to learn it. And then I went to the next step, and then I was excited for the next step. And then I was excited for the next step. And you just keep going, because it doesn't matter if you're Ron Howard. Every time he finishes a film, he has to start all over again. He's got to raise the money. And we're in an industry where you can start at any time. And with everything, you need to start over. So it's always a fresh start or a restart.
But it's not starting over from scratch. It's with experience, and you keep building. Like you've been, you're building. You have a foundation, and you're building these platforms. And I'm seeing you, and you're really good at being straightforward, and you're authentic, and no BS. And I love a no BSer.
I really do try to be as authentic, because I feel like you're only as good as your word. Like, you may not like what I say or like what I do, but I always get to the finish line. And I feel like that is a quality that a lot of people, they're like, yeah, well, it's whatever. I remember when crowdfunding first came out, and we crowdfunded my first short, and I produced it. I wrote the story, but then I had somebody rewrite it. But when we were producing it and everything, we were raising money. And I learned so much about that, because I feel like when you raise money for a project, you're really indebting yourself to other people, and you have to finish. But there was a guy in this crew, and they raised like $30,000, and they bought all this equipment, and then they never made the money.
Followed through with it. So when they do stuff like that, people want it to fall through. It's not just, hey, I filmed it. Can you distribute it? Can you build from that? Exactly. Can you market it?
Right.
And it's not just marketing here. It's all around the world. And everybody around the world, actually, they want to come to America. I have so many people reaching out. Oh, can you help me? And that's a whole new story for that one. But hey, this is what's coming out. You have something coming out. Let me know, because I'm going to share it to everybody. I'm going to tag you. I'm going to share it around the world. They have free advertising.
Right. And I think people don't understand is that, I've been doing a lot of talking about social media, and Nicole is amazing at social media. And she's done a lot for her community, and I don't think it's just where we're at now, but in other places. So you've been a police officer.
Yes.
And then have you been in the military?
Air Force veteran. I was deployed to Saudi Arabia back in 1999.
You've done all these things, and you're very worldly. Worldly? It's a good
Yeah,
word.
it's
So you're very worldly, and I feel like that experience kind of gives you a little over the top. I do talk to a lot of military veterans about being in the industry. Our DP from On Air Studios, he's actually a military veteran, and I feel like, you know, it's a mindset. It's like, okay, you know, I've done these things, but now I've experienced this much, so it opens up your creativity.
Well, just like when I first started, I really didn't know, because I never really fully wanted to go that direction.
Mm-hmm.
However, I did like that it was new and there was a lot to learn. I didn't realize, you know, there's a lot to learn on it. My first set was Warner Brothers for The Cleaning Lady as a pilot.
That's awesome.
And Julie Goldman is great for casting out here, especially
Yes.
background. That's how you
I
get your
always
work.
recommend Julie, yes,
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
so they paired me with this really young guy, and I go, "Is this a cougar scene?" I was really confused, and then he's looking at me really weird, like, "I'm your mother's age. Don't even get fresh with me." I said, "But I'm going to hold your arm because I don't know what he's talking about, marks." And I didn't know, you know, they did show me for 12 hours, and I was very grateful. And then I got to go back on for the final, and I got to be a precision driver. However, I didn't know about, hey, how do we get that principal role? I didn't even know about principal role. I mean, I was so new. So classes.
Right, classes are really, really important. So I feel like for the actors that are starting out, yes, you need to get on set. I wouldn't put background on your resume if you're going for bigger studio work, but it is good to be on. It's good to be on any set. I don't care if it's a student film. It's good to know to learn.
Because that's how you learn. That's the best learning. That is the best learning is on a set.
It's the etiquette as you go. What I feel, and I feel like people really feel intimidated, but really being on set is just, if you're needed and somebody says do this, just go do it.
Learn it, because it's not just casting part. Be beneficial. Learn the crew side of it, like a PA or Slade or assistant director. That's important.
Right. So I know you've gotten into producing, and I feel like you're just the perfect person.
I know. A lot of people have been saying that, not just you. Or a lot of people are like, hey, you know, if you ever look into being an agent or manager, they want me to manage them or agent. I go, well, I'm now talking, I want to see that route too. Let me see what it takes on that side. I have to learn all the ins and outs, just a little bit to see.
Yeah, I think the problem with that is that, because I've been asked that many, many times myself, the problem with that is that if you do that, you can't act.
You can't, because then you're doing it for everybody else.
In certain states or certain regions you can, but in our region you cannot.
That's good to know.
So yeah, so you're giving up your dream for somebody else's, and it's fine.
Does that my face look like that? I don't.
Right, and I think that's not really. It might be somewhere you might be at in 5 years, but I don't think right now is probably something. I think you're
fun.
right. You're on set not for the glory of it. You're on set because you're enjoying the people and you're learning. And I feel like with women, that's super important. Like, I like all of this because it mentally stimulates me, and I'm always learning more. And I think that is really why people who do creative stuff is every day you're learning something, and it keeps us moving.
It's not just, it's connecting to other people. And I love that part because there's people that that actually influenced me, and they were just so good and so kind and really hardworking. I mean, this industry, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. It is very consuming in every single way. When you have lines, you can't just know lines. You have to be the person. Do the research, the environment. Is this person real or not real? If you have any skills, put it on your resume. Unfortunately, I like to speak English. I'm not good with anything else.
I'm not good. I know, and I seem to be hitting that Southern accent thing, which I'm really not from the South. But it's funny that they always
I can
want me to
picture
do
you
it.
with like a yellow dress and
they always want me to do it, so I probably have to work on that. And I think those are things you can work on. I do know a very good actress out here, and she is Hispanic, but she knew Spanish, but she wasn't really fluent in it. And so once she tapped into that and started going back to school and really getting more fluent, she's just kicking butt and taking names. Had nothing to do with whether or not she's a good actress. Had to do with the fact that she was a good actress, and now she's tapping into that type. Yeah. And I think typing is probably the hardest thing as far as being an actor, because we don't know how other people see us.
I guess not, but they'll let you know. People come up to me and let me know. I don't even have to. I don't even have to think about what people. They come up out of their way to let me know exactly. Good feelings so far. Good feelings. And I just say I'm a housewife and a mother,
which is what you'll play, which is amazing.
And cop.
Hot mom.
Yeah.
Hot mom
it's getting
for sure.
hard as the days go on. I'm going to let you know.
No. Hot mom's good. And hot mom can be at pretty much any age as long as she's hot.
Right?
I think, I think looks and all that too is all on who's looking.
I can play the frumpy mom too. I have that. I don't. Nobody wants to see that though. Does anybody really want to see the no makeup, the circles? Sometimes they do. Like,
look what Sandra Bullock did.
She
went completely no makeup, and she did that great film, and it just got released on Netflix, and she's just a fine actress.
Yeah. So I mean, but people don't realize. They think, yeah.
Okay, so my very good friend and my producing partner Donna Fisher always tells me,
Donna.
don't be afraid to be ugly. You cannot. Yeah. We actually did a Mom Squad episode with Tanya Petra, who's a gorgeous Russian girl. She's an Instagram model, and she comes out and she's supposed to be in her pajamas, and she's supposed to have been broken up by her boyfriend, and her mother has kicked her out of Russia.
So that you're not going to.
Right. So she comes out and she's got this cute little pajama thing on, and her hair's done, her makeup's done, and we're like,
that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
No. Yeah. So we put her in a dirty t-shirt, and we got her some boxer shorts that were not used. And we put her in that, and then we had her take off all of her makeup, and then once we put her in that, it really sets the mood. And of course, she's still gorgeous, but you
could see the other side,
yeah.
You could feel for her then, huh?
I just think it was just more comical, is what it was. It's definitely a comedy. So I wanted to talk about projects that you're working on, and what project are you working on that you can talk about? Because I know you.
The only one that I can talk about is the one with Sean Phillips and Lauren Francesca for Mistletoe Massacre. And that'll be the 21st to the 27th of April. This month. Of shooting.
And then, can you give us like a?
I can talk to that about theirs.
Right, but can you give like a log line or what it's about? Basic.
I'll be in the office scene, so there's an office party going on, the one that I'm going to be in. Without giving too much away.
Is it a feature?
Yes, they're going to do a red carpet too for the Woods Witch as well.
Oh, okay,
and so both ones.
I'm doing Trail of Blood with Joey Chaffee too. So.
Oh, good. So that sounds fun. See, I don't like blood. I like bloody meat. Well, maybe not too much. I don't know if it comes out of blonde hair.
It does.
Does it? I was like, don't do. But I'm going to get a couple of those glass bottles. Have you ever been hit over the head with those?
No, but I did buy them for Rogue Angel.
Yeah, how was it? I know they're not. They're like 24.
Luckily for me, we had a good DP, and he just caught it the first time. But I actually had one left over. But so I want to go back to your project. So you've got the massacre. What's it called again?
Mistletoe Massacre.
Mistletoe Massacre. So I'm assuming it's a Christmas movie.
Yes. So I was taking out some of my stuff the other day to see if they can use some prop set. And my son, my youngest 10-year-old's like, Mom, what are you doing? I'm like, Christmas is coming up. He's like, are you okay, Dad? Now, poor kid. I'm like, yeah, we're going to just have Christmas because I have my family coming into town, my niece. I'm like, yeah, we're going to have Christmas for Isabella. Like, he's like, what's going on with you?
So it's a feature film.
Yes.
And it's a local film.
No,
it's not.
It's in Burbank. It's in California.
Oh, okay. Is that where they're shooting?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's good.
And you know how the sets are fun there? You know how you have a bar set or morgue set?
Right.
Oh, I still love it when it's not me. I could take poses and stuff like that. I enjoy and then connecting to other people. Last time I was on the set with him, it was a fun set.
Who's the writer on that? You know?
I think Sean Phillips, Lauren Francesca, and there might be somebody else on this one. I have to look on the IMDb.
Oh, okay. So, and then any other projects you're working on?
Nothing that is set in stone.
And then past projects that you have worked on?
This year? Besides the Woods Witch, I did, but it was only background for some wedding one for a Disney. And then I did the TV series for Power of Attorney.
Okay.
That was really fun. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. So that the doctor whispered in my ear, I had to do more improv.
Right.
And then the jury's over there, and I'm really serious. I'm really upset. And when the director said cut, they all burst out laughing. Yeah, they're like, you're funny. I'm like, I was like, you guys are killing me. You know how hard it is staying in character and being upset when I'm seeing everybody else with all their face expressions. I'm like,
yeah, it's probably not a good idea to take the actor out of their mood, but
yeah, I stuck with it though. And then the one friend's like, you're really working hard for your money, and they liked me so much that they want me to be in their cast and ask me for upcoming ones.
That's great.
So I really like improv. From what I've seen, I'm really good at it.
Right, and then you've been doing stunts.
I like the stunts. Only partial on fire. Only partial on, and then jumping off.
Do high falls.
Yeah, and I was like, can I go higher? I know, is that weird? I'm like, I did this level. Can I do this?
Probably not.
I think I could.
Yeah, you're kind of a daredevil.
I don't know. I just, when I was like, can you do this? I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. And then I want to check it out. And then I'm like, you know what? I can do that one. Let's do. If there's an opportunity, I might.
I think when you're the kind of person that will push yourself to the limit, which is
or is it smart or not smart though? I'm at that fine line of.
Well, I think it depends on. I mean, if you're on any stunt set, there is always the opportunity to get hurt. But I think even with all the safeguards, but I think. I mean, we're not going to make it forever. We should just enjoy our lives.
Let's talk to this audience. So, what about airborne? I would like to be part on the helicopter and jump into the ocean. No? Yeah, I think so.
So, as far as producing is concerned, I know you've been working with someone to raise crowdfunding.
There's actually quite a few. There's some that reached out to me that I can't. I'm so sorry. If you haven't done a first feature film, I will not do it. Because you haven't put the work into me feeling like I want to invest anything, or they haven't done as much work. If I'd done more work in my year, I'm not going to support somebody that hasn't done that kind of work.
I think that crowdfunding people don't understand is that when you do crowdfunding, it's whoever's raising the money. I mean, people can help you, but they can recommend it. But really, at the end of the day, the person who's crowdfunding is really the one that needs to put in the work and the effort, because people are investing in you. And so they're counting on you. And people think, oh, I'm just going to put my video and stuff on these Indiegogo, and I did Season Spark, but they think they're just going to put it, and people are just going to throw money at it. And that's just not how it is. It's a job. I did mine for 30 days, and I worked every single day on it. It wasn't,
and the sets are long, right? 12, 15 hours. It's not like...
I'm talking about just the crowdfunding.
Oh,
I literally had to call people every day, act as my own sales rep, because, a lot of people didn't know if I could do it. And and people don't understand it. So if you're going to get into a crowdfunding, please take a class on crowdfunding and make sure that you understand that it's great to have people in your corner, like Nicole here. It's great to have people doing things, but you need to put the work in, because at the end of the day, they're investing in you.
And now that you can do it, you just did your first feature film.
Yeah, I did, but my crowdfunding I had to push back. So I'm hoping, and plus one of the main cast members got sick, so we're getting ready to re-up that. We may have to rewrite it due to the illness, but we're still going to finish it. We have 7 episodes finished. We just wanted to make sure.
And what is this? Just in case people are tuning in.
It's Mom Squad, and so we're getting ready. We're actually been talking about filming at the end of this month, and I'd like to try to do 3 episodes in 3 days. So we'll find out what our DP at On Air Studios, Steven Sebo, is ready for. But anyway, so what are your aspirations for what's next? Are you just going with the flow?
What's next? What I'm so far seeing, there's a lot.
What's your goal?
The goal for me is going to be different for what I'm hearing about other people. Is mine, I want a platform to where I can go back, and I've seen other people do it through the nonprofits, the communities, to build them together. Or there are people that can come to me knowing that I will redirect into something that's resourceful, helpful, beneficial. I only ask that they pay it forward.
Right. And so basically what you're saying is that with the film and all of that is that you're trying to actually collect a group of people that not only will make a film, but also take that film and, at least
give it
donate.
Back.
At least donate something, back to a cause and a charity that may need it.
That's how they sucker me in, huh? Yep, now they know.
Sucker in. I mean, I did a teen homeless project. That was my very second film. And I didn't feel suckered in. There were some places they didn't want to talk to me because they didn't know me and they didn't know who I was and they didn't know what I was going to do with their information. But the one that did, which was Project 150, who I always contribute to now, they just opened up their doors and then they got to know me. And so now it's a constant reciprocation. So when everybody says, what charity, it's like, oh, the Project 150.
And thank you for doing that and picking something and actually giving back, because that part's really imperative. I mean, what's the point of having all this platform if you're not going to do anything to give back? Once you're established,
right,
give it back. And there's people that I've helped out for free because I volunteer. And like, oh, you don't want pay?
And actually, she did help me out with Girl Angels. She has a great location.
Yeah, but that's just. With this other one, I'm doing other things. I'm like, you're gonna do a nonprofit. And they agreed. So my one friend he did and cleaned up an area. And I have another friend that I'm gonna make sure she sticks to her word with nonprofits. So if I'm volunteering to be on a set for free and I'm doing all this extra work, then at least give back and know what it is.
Yeah, it's like
with nonprofits.
When we were doing Project 150, we actually went in and it was Thanksgiving, and so we got the whole cast and crew and went in and we did Thanksgiving dinners. And basically what we did is we set it up for the middle schoolers because, so the middle schoolers could have that feeling of they've helped people out, they've done the good deed. And so we had to set up all that for them. So we did all the heavy lifting.
So bringing the younger generation too is really imperative. And not just for maybe that it can install in them at a younger age, but there's kids that don't have the food and resources. So them volunteering or sharing it can help others share,
I think too, it takes a lot of the stigma out of it because I think when the kids aren't actively into that, helping others, I feel like they don't understand. I think it takes the stigma because most of these kids don't know what it's like to go without. So
I've seen so many that do.
And then they meet a kid that is going without and they realize that they're really not that much different.
And not picking on or bullying. Be that change you want. And so there's going to be people that are going to be in this film industry. Be the change you wish you had. Don't stomp somebody down because they stomped you down. Be that difference.
Yes, and I think that's really super important. I don't know how that all works in the world. I think that bullying is just what some people they're just so unhappy with their lives or they did something that they feel guilty about, so they kind of go in that direction. But I don't really know. But the world has changed, and I think bullying is a huge thing even today. But I think people know they can fight back a little bit.
We're here. I'm here. Mm-hmm. I will. Let me know. Definitely reach out to Nicole Vegas because I will make sure that things are handled correctly, or I'll give you information so that you're not feeling alone. And nobody is alone, even though this industry. I felt alone and I just started. There's, because you're so put into the work and you can't really share. Other people that aren't doing it wouldn't understand, but the ones that are, you can kind of, if you feel like you can share.
So basically, let's get back on track.
Yeah.
So as far as like women in film, what woman in film has inspired you and why? I mean, there's going to be a why to it. It can't just be, oh, I like this person's work.
Well, I mentioned Demi Moore for that G.I. Jane because she played kick-ass. I mean, she was solid. The push-ups, the adversity that she had to go through because it was all men, and they made it so hard for her, and she still pushed through. And I see a lot of women, even if they had things happen to them, they didn't let it keep them down.
Well, I think she made you feel something.
Badass. I said it. We can filter that one out. Okay, good.
But yeah, I think she is badass, and I think she's a really fine actress. I think too, with we were talking about bullying, is I think maybe she might have stepped away a little bit because of, when you're a public figure, it's hard to have a private life.
I don't think you can. I don't think
it depends on how big you get. You can. There's a lot of actors out there that you will see here and there, or series regular, but then they're only in 3 episodes, and you'll know, you'll see them on the street and you'll go, I think I know that person, but you don't know their name. And it's because they work constantly, but they're not the lead of a show. And sometimes I think as an actor, it's an advantage, not a disadvantage.
So did anybody come up to you? They're like, you look really familiar. So my past, I was a cop for you. I arrested a lot of people. I'm like, were you in Northwest area? Say about 5 years ago.
Did I arrest you?
Did I arrest you? What's going on here?
Yeah, I think that it's super important as far as being a woman in film, is that we are getting a little more empowered. We're stepping out of the shadows a little bit. I know that's happening with all people with disabilities, people of color, people of different races. And I think it's wonderful when I watch a show like Bridgerton, because I love Shonda Rhimes' writing.
I have to watch that.
It's because she took a period in time and she made everything normal. Whether you were heavyset, whether you were Black, Asian, and she made them all. And so when you watch the show, everybody's of all different colors and races and disabilities, and she made them all completely lovable and adorable. And there's nothing but love in her writing for everybody. There's nothing against.
I get it.
There's no racism. There's none of that.
Well, people do judge.
They didn't cast somebody because of the color of their skin. They did not cast them because they were heavy set. They just took talent and made this beautiful piece. It's all fantasy
cast chemistry.
And it's gorgeous.
The cast chemistry is really amazing.
Gorgeous, like the way they film it. Shonda Rhimes is probably one of my favorites because she really does understand the climate and the culture of today. And so I love you, Shonda. So if you ever take a master class, I would take Shonda Rhimes' class because she is super, super amazing. And I think too, she's really opened up a lot of doors for a lot of women.
So my thing that I've had people come to me or say out loud was like, "You're really aggressive." And I said, assertive. So any roles of usually men, like law enforcement, military, post office, mail handler, I did too, 70-pound sacks. I had a lot of the guys, I shared what I was, and then they're like, I feel like less of a man. So that really has nothing to do with me. Then do something. I don't
think you're aggressive. You're just talkative, and you tell people what you think. And I think women, as they get older, we do that because we kind of suppress things when we're younger. I don't know where we got that from, but we do. We're always taught to suppress our feelings or our emotion or what we wanted to do based on how we were raised. And I think that when you get to a certain age and you've had children and you've had a family, you're like, I don't really care.
It's something we share in common. Yes.
I'm going to step up whatever makes, if I see something wrong, I'm just going to call
them. But it's just communication. So we're good at communicating because we know if we don't, something can head south, and we don't want anything. We want to keep things going and flowing and understanding, so we're all on the same track.
Right, and I think that's where you're at with the whole filmmaking. You just want to understand how it all works. And I think that you've probably been a fan of film and television for a long time, and you're like, this, let me see if I can do this and challenge yourself. It's a great challenge to put yourself in.
I'm getting to be a fan of film. I don't, like when I first started, I did feel like it was Welcome to the Jungle. I was almost put my toe in it, and I felt like somebody shoved me in the water, and I was very exhausted. It was very exhausting. Yeah. And you're trying to figure out what's what and who's what, and
it's a lot to absorb because it's a lot.
Yes,
it's
yes.
Not, anybody who thinks that they can just jump in and be an actor day one, they have no clue what they're in. It's a reckoning because it is a craft. It is a career. Filmmaking, acting, it's a career. It actually means something. And some people do it from the time they're little till they're 90 or they die. And it's their whole world. And it can't be taken lightly. But for some reason, if you're not Demi Moore or you're not, then people think you're less than, and you're not. People work their butts off for this.
Well, I know some people that their view of what they want is completely different than mine. That's why most day I was like, well, I feel so different on what I want out of this career compared to what other people want. And I'm happy being a working actress.
Yeah,
that's really, everybody should be proud of themselves for having that, because those sets, it's not what you think it is.
It's a lot of hard work. Definitely. Yeah. Well, we do have to sign off because we are hitting to our 30-minute time, but it's been really great having you on, Nicole.
Thank you so much.
I think Nicole is more of an advocate. I want to say you're like an advocate, and that you always like to learn and grow. And so for real women, celebrating women in film, today we're celebrating Nicole Butler Vegas because she's going to advocate, and she's going to really reach out and help people that actually need her help.
Absolutely. Right? Thank you so much for giving me the time to share who I am and what I'm about, and we'll be talking soon. There's a lot of
definitely. We're going to hear more from Nicole for sure. Thank you.